The drama does not stop. The drama just continues on, and this gunnery sergeant of the Marine Corps continues that epic tradition. And I will say tradition because this is not just a one-off. I'm going to start correlating stuff around here like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But what I'm going to tell you is, first we got to get into it as the influencer that exposed this gunnery sergeant was out of all places not where you would expect. Now, this is because this comes from an Instagram influencer specifically for fitness, Goob_U2, and he posted this only a couple weeks ago as this filming of this video, but he exposes this gunnery sergeant and has all the red receipts. I'm not going to say anymore. Watch right here.
Unfortunately, there are tons of predators in our daily life, some even in the military. Philip Talbert, welcome to the show. This is Philip Talbert, aka PT Talbert. He's a gunnery sergeant in the Marine. He was formerly a drill sergeant, is a father of 2 children, and was recently caught in an online predator sting offering to sneak into a 15-year-old girl's bedroom. Let's take a look at this conversation. Now, the conversation started out innocent enough. They ask, "Are you a Marine recruiter?" He said, "I manage the Marine recruiters." The decoy says, "I'm still in high school. How old are you, by the way?" He says then, "Sorry to bother you. I thought you were in college, and due to my job, I wouldn't want to cause issues with a minor." The decoy says, "I'm 15. He says, "Yeah, sorry, but you can still follow me if you want to, my Snap." Now, if that was the end of this conversation, that would be totally fine and totally appropriate. But what did Philip do? Less than an hour later, he invited the 15-year-old decoy into an end-to-end encrypted chat on Instagram. This is kind of weird, seeing as he ended the chat before. Why did he open this chat that can't be recorded? Ah, that's why. Let's link up tonight. Let's chill and get to know each other. The decoy sends a photo and he says, "Show me more." She says, "What do you want?" He said, "Whatever you want to show." He even invites the child to the Holiday Inn Express that he was staying at. He says, "What would you want to do in your room?" She says, "Hang out, I guess." He says, "Same here. We can see where that goes." Philip, you got some explaining to do. Based off of these you're holding, you're married with children.
If you guys like what I cover here on the channel, this drama, this stuff that goes on within the military, make sure you guys drop a like, you guys comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help the video, and also allows you to see these videos in the future as I post them as well. First off, I gotta ask, why would you ever post some kind of photo with your family's personal identifiable information? I have no idea, but good attention to detail from Goob on this point. However, I want to say, from the legal standpoint, you're going off intent. He didn't say true intent of what he wanted to do. I'm not trying to protect him. I'm just trying to say, unfortunately, I think reading these messages, as much as me and you probably agree, we know what was going to happen. The messages probably are going to be too vague to kind of have any conviction. I'd love to follow up with this story because they do actually post court-martial findings from situations like this if they are found guilty, and that would be an awesome closing to this story. But there is more to this. And that's because people go off on this guy in the comments, and some people even trying to defend certain actions of this gunnery sergeant, saying this. The one and only says, "This is my brother, and this is not his real profile. We've been reporting all of these profiles of him." And then below that, someone says, "Prove it." And then, "Yeah, BS, bro," says everyone else. And that is true. There are fake accounts that are out there as well that do impersonate military members on Instagram specifically and try and use personal photos in order to gain money and things like that by scamming elderly women. Happens all the time. Ask my friend Mike Sensi if you don't know. But it does look like people are going for vengeance in this process because a lot of people are saying they were doing their own personal vendettas against this guy. This is what they had to say. Gypsy Gaines says, "Good thing I screenshot some of his followers." And someone says, "I've been messaging people, LOL." And she responds, "My dude, I'll treat this like a mofo day job. Let's go, this sick mother sucker." Christian D. Tang says, "I just texted his wife with the post on Instagram." And then someone says back to him, says, "What's the follow-up?" And then people are still asking what happened after. And you guys know that a lot of times these situations, they fall on deaf ears. No one hears about it. We don't hear any follow-up of what happened as far as like, did any investigation happen? However, with this case, Goob_U2, got to say the whole name there, says differently as the military has actually done some kind of follow-up with him. And this is what he has to say.
Apparently yesterday, this video of this creep made the rounds. I've been contacted by NCIS. They're doing what they need to do to make sure this story is verified and take appropriate measures. I am extremely surprised and extremely proud of the Marines for this because I've done a lot a lot of predator videos and a few people in the military, and I've never been contacted by anybody to this degree, this quickly, trying to rectify it and figure out the fucking truth. So yeah, when we have an update, I'll post an update, but I just want to let you guys know, voices were heard. You guys sent this fucking everywhere. Got contacted a multitude of times by people that could do something about it. Let's fucking go.
And gratefully that did happen. However, I thought the drama was going to end there, but when you join the military, it is a small sphere that people are able to gather intelligence about one another very easily, especially on social media. And the top comment going around about this thing as it closes on social media so far says this. CSP_374 wrote, when we were younger, he told me he and his wife separated. Turned out they didn't, and he was just cheating on her. Who knows if it was just with me? I'm sure there were more. Alexandria L. Smith writes, judging by how quickly they contacted you, they probably already had their eyes on him for stuff like that. So sad a father would do that to his family. So sad any friend's man would do that, but especially a father. And this person says, dude's career is gone. I hope he's a lifer in the brig. And I'm not here to just paint a bad picture upon the military, but when I see trends, I want to annotate them. So a couple of things recently in the news that you guys should correlate here with children and things like that, where I sit here and I'm like, how are these people in the military? Obviously, there's no way to filter out people, I guess, unless you found all their search criteria before they even joined. But I want to point out a few things. The chief only a few weeks ago, which was the van predator type issue where they had actually found him in San Diego. And my video, particularly by YouTube, was suppressed, by the way. And luckily, a lot of you guys watched that on Rumble. But that chief actually was having accusations and had way more detailed messages there and actually admitted on the camera to them that this was going on. And it was only through other people recording messages from the top level leadership that this was being addressed. There was nothing out to the public as far as a public affairs type of statement. Another thing I'm going to annotate here is, do you remember that the border crossing soldier over at North Korea, how he jumped over and has just been recently returned back to the United States? Well, guess what? That guy also does have CP issues, where they are now going to get him for not only desertion, but also on trying to search out CP out there. If you don't know what CP is, they're little. They don't wear things, okay? It's unfortunate. Now, on top of that, that should be no surprise to anybody that's ever paid any context or attention to the military justice system, which would be the criminal court-martial proceedings that are actually posted online on a regular basis, I believe quarterly, in order to show who has been found guilty of certain things. And those are public records that are out there, where you will see people having issues with CP issues. Also on top of that, little hands and other weird things like this, where I'm like, this cannot be where the military dies on a hill for this, because it's just so frequent. It's crazy to me if you read any of the charges that go on these court martials. So I want to interrupt here a little bit and say we do have shirts, mugs, things like that, stickers, all these great things that are now on this seasonal drop for the fall. Drink to the foam. Check it out. We are keeping traditions of the highest that we can by keeping to the foam in your brains forever, as they're trying to wipe away every little bit of history out there. But get yours today if you want to help out a small creator like myself. But I also look on the other spectrum of, like, we were fighting extremism at one point and trying to weed that out, where they showed reports where there are only a handful of those cases. But we have even more proof of the things happening with little kids here happening on a regular basis, as you can find from public open source information. So let me know what you guys think about the situation down in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen to this guy based on those text messages? Obviously, recruiters are in a vulnerable spotlight where they are close with the community, and there is a vested trust that should be there, and I would say would be reasonably there for parents if their kids were to interact with a recruiter. And it's just a shame that this is the case and someone abused that. But as always, there are a few bad apples, but you can also always hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, down in the comments below, all the good stuff if you like what I talk about here. Also, on top of that, I love you guys. I'll see you next time.